Great. Well, I'm gonna just plug in here or just change my video up just to say hello for a sec. So, I'm just so you know, I'm here. I just wanted to say hello, happy Friday, and thank you for letting me know because today I'm doing solo. It's Phoebe has got another commitment, so I'm doing it today, and we have a lots to share. I've got origami. We're going to do lots of origami decorating, but you can also apply this to your mixed media artwork, collaging, anything else. So I'm going to turn the camera down just to go back on the table, and we will get started because there's plenty to do. Now, I'm probably, if you have questions, I have to check. I'll check. So please type in the comments if you have any questions about what I'm going to do, or if I do something and you have a question, I'll try to be the best. I'll try to describe everything I'm doing the best I can. But so here what we've got on the table are a lot of decorated origami papers. And last week I had so much fun with my folding friends. We did these little books, and I actually used some of the decorated papers that I'm going to be showing you today, making these little books. So these just like basically, I don't like to take origami on its own face value. I like to fix it up, even if it's my own paper. And I'll show you kind of what I mean. The paper that I designed for Yasutomo, I'm still doing other things with it. But I'm going to put some of these goofy things away. And the reason I put this up here, I showed these today. If you're interested in me showing you how to do these, I know that some of you have already done them with me, but if you're interested in me doing these next live, let me know and we can schedule it. So these are like little folded books out of origami paper. They're really easy and they're fun, and you can make a whole bookshelf full of them. But let me know if you want to do it. Just put it in the comments, please, if you're interested in making these modular books, and I will show you how in a couple of weeks. So I wanted to just kind of bring that up. Thank you. So yes, so we'll do the folded books next week, maybe some other little folded things as well. But the books I think would be really fun. And Phoebe, when she announces it, she'll put what you need to bring to the table if you want to fold along with me. So there we go. Yay, that'll be fun. I like planning these ahead. So today we're going to kind of cover what I like to do when I decorate my origami papers. And that could be any papers that I have. Like I want to share with you, this is coming soon. I'm really excited about these. These are our newest pure paper assortments. They're coming in July. We're going to have a bunch of grays, really nice, neutrals and greens. Now, I love the greens because we have reds and blues, which would make great flowers, and we never have enough green in our undercheek pack. So we now have a pack of greens, and I'm super excited about this. This is, so you'll know, not till July, but time flies, right? So you can plan ahead, but these will be coming in from Japan in July. So I'd say probably 1st of August they'll be available. Perfect in time for the holidays to do fun origami projects. So these items, just so if you have a pencil ready, it's $43.56. Oh, let's do this right here, just so you know. So we have $43.55, $43.56, and $43.57. So we have the color greens, warm neutrals, and color grays. And the grays I love for, well, origami, but also for doing some toned drawing and toned painting. So this is really great. Same with this one. Also put origami animals, like if you like to do cats and dogs and rabbits and mice, this is perfect. They're perfect colorways for that. And then the greens, of course, are for the botanicals. So I just wanted to share that this is happening. I'm really excited about that. All right, so let's get started in some how-tos. So you know about the Pourri or the collage papers. Those are brand new. I'll be showing you how I kind of doll these up or dress them up a little bit just to make them my own, or just to kind of add your own personal touch to your own creations. These are my collages that I had done, but then you can, on top of that, layer on top of them, and you can create your own unique pieces. So I'm just going to show you that today. And then I've got this was here beforehand. These are our painted papers. So these are a little bit more plain and very perfect for decorating. And one thing that I heard, and this is these are called painted papers. So there's 3 different SKUs. We have 9 gosh, we have quite a few new papers coming this year. I'm really excited about it. So this today, though, I'm going to show you what I do when I want to decorate my papers, or let's say I've done some jelly printing, and I plan to do 4 things today. I'm going to doodle, I'm going to stamp, I'm going to stencil, and if I have time, I'm going to jelly print. So I'm going to try to get everything if I can, and that will be really fun. So the grades would be amazing with the jelly print. I think I will try that. Hi, Dorina. Hi, Lily. Hi, Cindy. And yeah, great to see everybody. The great that you're here. I know I can't see you, but I know you're here. I feel your presence. So this morning I decorated this origami paper that came from the pack, one of my painted papers packs. And it's kind of a plain paper. And then you're going to also find papers that you just don't really, especially if you have an origami pack, even my own origami pack that I designed. There's some papers that I just kind of like, yeah, like this one. I think it's a nice paper, but I don't know. It just needs a little something. So I'm going to do something to fix that up. I'm also going to do something with this one, even though it's really beautiful. I think it would be really fun to do some mixed media over that. This one is very plain. It's great for modular, but hey, why not? Let's fix it. Let's do some stuff. So I've already done some things this morning and yesterday to prepare for our live. So I'm just going to kind of move some things off because I do plan to do some pretty serious mixed media going on here. If you remember the last 2 weeks ago when I did these collages on the, with the Shikishi board, I thought this needed a little something. So I'm just going to start right now because it's sitting here right on my table, and I'm just going to start. And I'm going to grab, and I know I have it somewhere here. I did prepare. Oh, there he is. So close. So I have this pen, and it's called a One4All acrylic paint pen. I love it. This is my go-to white opaque acrylic paint pen. Now when you use this, you do need to kind of make sure that it works right. You have to shake it up, and I'm going to shake it, and then I'm just going to kind of make sure it's flowing. And if it doesn't flow, one thing I noticed, it's not flowing that good. See how it's kind of skipping? One thing that you can do is you can take the nibs out of these pens and you can rinse them out in water. They're very versatile. So there, it's flowing way better now. So I'll go ahead and give it a shot now. So I'm just going to do where I think I need something, this little dark area. I'm going to just make little marks. And these little marks are kind of like little ovals, kind of like my kind of go-to mark making. And this is going to create a little bit of a highlight, focal point, an area for my eye to go to, because it's, it just kind of was calling for it, I think. And I just wanted to do that to show you how quick and easy it is, just kind of embellish what you already have. So there we go. I kind of did that. And maybe I can overthink it too. So easy peasy, right? It's all done. Now I'm happy with that. Needed a little decoration. And then some of these things too, like this little book that I did, this tag book, which we did, right? We did it together, I believe. And this one really needs something. So it'd be fun to do, like, it'd be fun is, let's see, a title, maybe a title, something that I want to just kind of do that's sort of bold. This one, if you haven't seen this before, these are amazing. This Uni Posca, these are amazing wide. Look at this. Look, see, like a super wide chisel tip, and they really are nice and opaque. And I'm going to make like a place for a title, I think, right in this area. I'm just going to take it and just drag it across. So I could do it a couple times to kind of give it some opacity. There we go. But you can see I just made a little title place, and I also just decorated up the paper so that it's unique and different. That's one way you can use these pens. So these are things that I sometimes do with things that are already existing, that I've already folded, or like in this case, these little hearts, which were up on the Instagram page. I just made these with the same thing with the pen, and I wrote the word love down in this little spot after I folded it. So sometimes just folding it first, then instead of wasting all of your time doodling on something that you're going to fold anyway, and that it gets mostly hidden, you can doodle and mark on it after you folded it. And I know I've done this heart many times before. So, unless you want me to do the heart, I could do the heart next week or 2 weeks from now when we're doing our books because we'll have time. But there, that's a way to kind of get going. So here, I'll just show you what I mean. So I've got these little plain hearts. They're boring. I think they're kind of boring right now. They're pretty, but they just need a little something more. So this one here looks like it needs, what could I do with it? I could do my little, I can do lines. I could make like I see here, there's a leaf that's sort of underneath. And I'm just going to kind of draw what's kind of like trace, or not trace, but kind of following that little line that's underneath. I just created this little leaf shape and I just changed it up. So that's how this white acrylic pen works really good for that. There's, because of our papers are sort of kind of have a shine to them. I don't know how alcohol inks would work. They might work okay, but I like acrylic markers because they really work really well. So I'm just going to keep going. So this is kind of starting with the doodling. So I kind of showed you a little doodling on how I would do it if I were just doing on something that's pre-folded, but on something that has already been done. So this is comes from, here we go, this one. This is the one I thought it'd be fun to do stuff with. Actually, yeah, why not? So this one I can add, I kind of look at it and I go, I kind of need some things on it. I can do black and white, simple black and white things like with the pen. I could doodle on it. I could also stamp on it. And I'm going to sort of kind of cross over. I don't know if I'll do everything in sequence, but I think I'm going to for sure do the things that aren't really messy, because I know the jelly printing will be last because that's the most messy. But the things that are kind of easy peasy, I'm going to do it first. So this one here, if I wanted to do just some maybe mark making on this one, I'm just going to, I see kind of like an opportunity maybe to just do some like spiral things going on here. And I just got to, just draw on it, draw on the existing paper. And this is like white on white, which I think is a very pretty way to go. Just like these little spirals. And gonna go in opposite directions, just kind of doing some little spirally things. And then you could make lines going across, but since I don't have any model in mind here, I'm just kind of just doodling. And what I love about doing this is I can just have some paper out and be watching, listening to a podcast, talking on the phone. Hate to say this, but when I talk on the phone with people, if it's a long call, I usually have something I can work on. And I usually find that the ones that I do when I'm not really paying attention, and I'm talking to a friend, I can actually get some really interesting pieces. Like right now, I'm talking to you. So I'm thinking I may get some really interesting doodles here because I'm kind of turning, and my focus is talking at the same time I'm also drawing. So I'm going to be a little bit less judgmental. And I'm really loving what's going on here. And I can turn the paper around and add more, maybe some dots here, just little dots. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of adding contrast. And I'm also changing the paper just to put my own signature on it. So if this wasn't my own design and I had someone else's paper, which I often do, I'll take some paper and I'll just start changing it up and then it's mine, for sure. So I'm going to write the word love. That's a word we all, need to remember. I'm going to write it 3 times as an affirmation. And I love this pen so much. See, so now I've changed up this little piece of paper and then I'll set it aside and I'll use it for folding or whatever, something else later. Maybe some collage or make a mother sheet or something. So that's that one. And I'm gonna put that pen aside. And I want to show you one that I did a little earlier. So the doodling part is pretty straightforward. I took this paper, which I wasn't, now that I have it, it's the paper itself, if I can show you a piece. It's really not that exciting. It kind of needed something. So all I did was it had these dots in it, and I connected it with lines. And then I just connected, just simple, very simple way to just kind of play with your papers. And then, here, I'll show you this one. I'm going to go through these. This one, I'm going to show you today how I did this. This is just one of the papers in the painted series, and I put a stencil over it. And I love the stencils that have, for origami especially, I love the stencils that have that kind of central area. So there's kind of like a starburst thing going on, and then it leaves some of the paper showing, but then I have opportunities to doodle and stencil. So this is just a stencil and a black stamp pad, and I'll show you that. I'll do one of those today. And then I just doodled some with the white pen. I doodled this little white thing going on. And what's beautiful about this is a version of it. It's a different one, but look how beautiful this crane is. It's changed it completely because I did that. I just added that little contrast, and it really changed it up so much that, you know, I have a crane that's completely unique. And here's one I did earlier. This one is also been just a little doodled over with the white pen, same as you saw before. And this is the one I was telling you about. I'm just sitting talking to a friend, and here's the plain piece. And then this one I just doodled. Very simple, right? Very simple, but effective. Now I've got a new piece of paper that I love. Now here's one. This one is very plain by itself, but wow, what a background it makes for stamping. I mean, this, I love this stamped. This is a hand carved stamp. I'll show you that. And I'll do that today. I'll give you an example of that. Here's another one. Same paper, but with a different stamp. And look, I've got this gorgeous paper. I can't wait to fold it into something. Yeah, I think it'll be beautiful crane or a box or anything. It's just so pretty. And this one is this plain paper. This plain paper is pretty, but look what happens when you add some black stamping on it. It's just fabulous, you know, just so easy. And I'll show you that. I'll show you that technique. These I will get to in a little while. This is the stenciling. Okay, so this is where I rescued some kind of not so pretty paper, and I think I added some black and white contrast. I'll show you that in a little bit, but I'm just able to totally change up the paper. But let's do this first, and then I'll keep kind of plow through the the techniques for you. So simple. So for when you're doing stamping on paper, and I'll move all these out of the way. And if you're doing stamping, like, all right, let's get that out of the way, put them in a different pile. And usually when I stamp, I like to have something like a soft surface to work on. And usually I use, and I'm going to grab it, I like grabbing a newsprint pad, just plain old newsprint. Okay, and I'm going to grab this yellow piece of paper, and then I'm going to grab, I have this stamp that I love, and I haven't used it in a long time, but it's a little hand carved stamp that I did a long time ago. And I just thought it'd be fun to try it with this. And I'm going to just load my stamp with archival ink. So this is an ink that won't smear once it dries. It might take a little time to dry, but you don't want dye-based inks because you'll get your hands, especially if you're folding, you will get some transfer onto your hands, and yeah, I don't like that. And it just, if it gets even, if you have a little bit of moisture on it, it's just not gonna be good. So I'm gonna just take this little stamp and I'm gonna go ahead and give my first impression, and kind of the padded surface really helps to absorb the pressure, and then it gives you a nice clean impression. See how pretty that is? I love that. Now I'm going to turn. So this is for origami paper. So I'm not trying to do a picture of any type. I really just want it to be kind of a decoration more than something that's recognizable. So what I'm going to do, and I see some kind of hair there. Oh well. I have a cat now, and my cat gets into everything. Cat hairs everywhere. Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of bring this as close as I can to the previous one. Oops, and line it up as much as I can, and then just kind of lay it down. Since this is an odd shaped stamp, I'm not really sure if I'm doing it right or not, but that's okay. There's nothing perfect, especially if you're folding stuff. When you're folding stuff, your stuff's going to get mostly covered anyway, but the process is fun. And then I'll alternate it, do the same thing, just kind of bring it over, kind of just not line it up, but line it up at the bottom, and then press. And now I've got this. So this is looking pretty good. Looks very Arizona, doesn't it? And this one, I'm going to do the opposite. Let's see, do I want them facing? Yeah, I'm going to do it so that this way. So I'm going to have it kind of going maybe this way. And then this is a large stamp, so it won't take much to cover it. I'm going to turn the paper. And tap, tap, tap goes the stamp, and then I'm gonna just kind of press that right there. And I love this yellow background, greenish, sort of amazing background. I love that. I'm gonna turn this around again. And this one is gonna go opposite. So I have very little to cover now, and it's just, you can see it doesn't take long. I'm gonna go this way, right here. And now I'm just gonna kind of use my, and I'm gonna stamp mostly on this newsprint now, but you can kind of see where this is going here. And then once that's done, I have another piece of paper that's really interesting. There we go. And that is it on that one. I love that. Very deserty. I might even just add a little here, maybe one there. That is fun. And then maybe this one needs a little something over there. Here. So now it covers the paper pretty well. And I have another new piece of origami paper that I can fold. Let's see what else I can get it to do here. So stamping, you get the idea, right? I mean, you can even take, like a pretty leaf, but I just, for some reason, I grabbed the little cactus, and that's that. But you can see, I don't know if I did one with you. I know I've done a class before on carving, and I think in the next few months, maybe by next year, we're developing a stamp carving kit that is mostly for signatures. But why not? We may have some tutorials coming up on this technique using this type of material, because we are coming out with, Yasutomo is coming out with one. We are working on it now. So stay tuned. That's for next, that'll be probably, I'd say, I can't say when, but it's coming. Maybe by the holidays we might have it. All right, so that was the stamping thing, doodling and stamping. Now, another way you can stamp if you don't have a rubber stamp. I love doing this. Okay, let's find a piece of paper that I'm not that fond of. I don't know. Let's do it on the pure paper, because pure paper is a little thicker. And these have already been gel printed, but if I look through my papers and I kind of look, and I might see some that are kind of screaming, help me, I need something. I need a little decoration. I'm gonna grab that. Oh, this one desperately needs it. It's just not pretty. So at least to me, it's not. But there's ways to fix that. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna get rid of this. I want to have a different kind of surface underneath now. I'm gonna use a palette pad, and I'm going to, let's see, what I'm gonna grab what looks good. I think I'm on this kind of roll here. I might try, got these acrylic paints that I love. These are Dina Wakley paints. Are really nice. This is turquoise, and that one, turquoise, might be nice. I'm gonna try this. I just thinking maybe the turquoise would look better on this. So I'm gonna switch that out. I'll rescue that other one later. This one I'll rescue later. I have an idea for it. But this one, it sort of looks like, you can see I gel printed it. It didn't really come out. There's the pure paper underneath. And then I've got just sort of a translucent pattern, but it's really subtle. And I'm gonna just put some of this paint down. I've never done this before. I'm just gonna give it a shot. I've never used this for this purpose. Well, let's see what happens. And I'm gonna got this little wonky stamp. I call it my wonky circle stamp, and really it's just a toilet paper roll that I kind of pinched up and I just changed it up. Now this, I'm gonna need to sort of kind of get some color on the stamp. There we go, or on the piece of the toilet paper roll. There we go. And I'm just gonna go ahead and make a, oh yeah, that's pretty. That's what I'm looking for. And then I'm gonna do another one, and I'm gonna do it fairly quickly, just kind of having the little circles sort of join each other. Yeah, like that. Maybe here. Oh yeah, this is gonna look nice. Love that color, that turquoise with that kind of gold, kind of a subtle, I don't know what that color is, but it's gorgeous. You can see how quickly you can transform. And I actually heard Mary Beth Shaw, an artist who is the owner of Stencil Girl products. she did a stencil school video that I happened to catch today, and she talked about the ugly paper syndrome. I thought that was so funny. So yes, if we want to call these, we're going to make our ugly papers look better by just putting some layers over them. Or, you can always just dress them up. This is how you do it. So I love that. I think that is beautiful. And I took it off the edge because I do want to, if I want to use this as an origami paper, I can. But wow, what a gorgeous paper, huh? So that one is that one. All right, so now that I've got the toilet paper roll out, I think I was going to take, I'm just going to set that aside for now to let it dry. I'm going to take this icky one. And this one just isn't working for me. The color is not happening. So I'm going to take the same blue and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to see how it looks. It's going to help immensely, right? But I'm going to do something else to it. And I don't want to run out of paint. So I'm kind of rotating my wrist and I'm just kind of doing a quick and dirty stamp here because I really want to cover it quickly. And it just kind of getting rid of that, it's that army green color or olive green. I'm not a big olive green fan. And that is olive green. So I just got to get that out. Start layering, right? Having that as the background is fine, but as the major thing is no. So I got that. Now, that's going to set aside. I'll set that aside, and I have a different size. This one is a kind of a tube. It's more perfectly round. So I'm going to kind of pinch it up a little so it's not perfect. I want it a little wonky looking on purpose. And I'm going to put some white paint. This is just some acrylic titanium white. And I'm going to put it in a different little puddle here, right there. I think I have enough there if I just squeeze it out. Gesso is actually even better than white acrylic paint. And I don't know if anybody's, I can't see if there's any new messages. If there are, I apologize, but I can't read it. I don't know why. So if anybody, no, it's funny. I should give some of you my phone number. You can text me and let me know. All right, so there is the white inside the original one. And let's just play around. Do some layering with different colors. Ooh, that's a lot of paint though. You see what I just did? I just unloaded. This is very thick paint. So I did a very thick piece here, and that's going to be way too thick for origami. So I'm going to have to kind of work with that. Maybe if I rolled out the paint, it would probably worked a lot better than what I just did. Plus a lighter touch. I'm still getting the circle that I like. Yep, much better. So when you do that, let's say you make a boo-boo like I just did. Let's see. I like it. The paper's looking better already, but I starting to like it. Now this big, huge thing, I'm going to just kind of offload it right like that. Just get rid of that extra piece and maybe reload it and then restamp and see if I get it better. Yep, a little bit better. So they see how that just changes everything. And now another way, I'm going to take some black and I'm going to, getting it on me other than the, now by the end of this session, I'm going to have paint all over my hands. I know it. Okay, now here is a little, I'm going to stick it in the turquoise because it's just going to be in there. Now I have another tube. So save your tubes. When you get these tubes, save them because look what you can do with them. Now this, I probably should roll out, but I'm going to be really lazy. Oh no, I could do this. I'm going to kind of do this. Oh, I have an idea. Heck with the tube. I don't know if that will make yeah, that'd be cool. I'm just going to do a little dot, right? Oops, maybe that was a bad idea. Well, now that I've started it, I have to finish. So I'm just making these little kind of weird looking dots with a sponge. Why not? Because I might have ruined it. But no, don't say that. You'll see what I mean. See, I can talk to myself, right? I'm actually wishing I hadn't done this, but now here's part of the process of when you're creating. You can go, oh gosh, I started something, I don't like it. But guess what? We're going to fix that. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so I got that black in there that I'm not really fond of. And I'm just going to sit this somewhere where I'm not going to mess up my table. And I have this beautiful this beautiful, whatever that is, tube. And I found another color. What would be another color? That would be fun. This is all fun. Creating on the fly, like just, ooh, green. We'll see what happens. Lime green. And I'm just going to put some lime green in this mess here. Maybe mix it with some of that white. Might be kind of pastel at the end of it. We'll see. I'm just going to kind of dab it in there. And kind of look at it. And now I'm going to do a lime green circle right on top of that black to kind of counteract that black. Who knows? It's just a process. And the pure paper, what I love about pure paper is it sort of lets me do this and it doesn't, I'm not ruining, it's not wrinkling up real bad at all. It's pretty staying pretty flat. Oh, I like it now. See, now I'm happy with that. Looks like I meant it. Kind of like softens that black a little bit, looks a little better. All right, I think I've done enough damage to that, but I've changed it up. You can see, isn't that great? The green with the black, yay. So now I see this is very circular. Put this thing aside for a second. Lynn's here. Hi, Lynn and Nancy. Woohoo! I got a party. I love it. Friday party. Okay, I'll move this out of the way. I know what's going to happen to my desk. It's going to be crazy. Okay, so this one I need to set aside, but I really like how it turned out. It's going to be a gorgeous paper. I could do one more thing, but I'm going to wait. I kind of think it'd be fun to add some kind of lines, but I'm just going to not. I'm going to kind of let that sit for a minute. What I'll do is I'll show you all my papers. I'm going to have them laid out and we'll look at them. And another thing, if you're concerned about too much going on, and I'm going to go ahead and put this down here and show you what I mean. I'm going to grab another kind of ugly paper that I'm not really fond of. Or not, yeah, this one doesn't thrill me. And it's probably worse color combinations, but I'm just going to see what happens. I have never done this. I thought it would be fun to lift off some of the extra goop that's on this one. Okay, it's not really, ooh, it did ruin it, but look at how cool that is. Okay, I kind of ruined that one, but that's okay. I can fix it, no problem. But this one's kind of now different. I like it. All right, this is just me veering off into this crazy place, okay? So you can also take, let's say you want to do, let's find something here. I've got to find something. I need to find, when you can find the weirdest stamps, even in like things like this. I'm just gonna I've got this tip of it looks like it is a pen. It's actually a watercolor pen. Yep. And you can do dots, I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep messing it up, but I love it. So you can just keep layering and make it look like I meant it, right? All right. I think I've done enough. Well, I keep saying I've done enough and then I torture the paper even more, but I kind of like it. I like that I've sort of diffused some of that black. Yeah, I'll set that aside. All right. Put that aside. Moving on. Okay. So what are we going to do next? So I wanted to show you my stenciling. Yeah, I guess I have room here. So if we're going to stencil, when you take a stencil, let's say you have a plain paper like this one is kind of, it sort of calls for something, I think. It's just, oh, the mishmash. You got the mishmash. All right. 10 minutes of free, yes, and a TP roll. And really, one thing you do is after you've worked with this, I have to tell you, I love the buildup of the color, but if you get too much paint, just kind of wipe it down for your next session in case, you just don't want a lot of buildup on your TP roll, especially the precious ones, wherever that one is. There it is. So this one I'll just kind of, it looks like I got plenty, but they're handy. You just keep them in your arsenal of mark making tools. All right, so here's one that's kind of sort of iffy, right? It's not that much fun. I don't think it needs a little something. So I'm going to show you. I love this stencil's gorgeous. This one is by, I don't know if I hope she's still around. Artist Seller. I don't know if she's still around, but I hope she is. I'm going to just take this, and you could use a stamp pad if you want, or you can use a stencil brush. I'm going to use this because it's sitting here in front of me. I've got an ink. I've got a little bit of paint, and I'm going to grab a sponge, these little soft spongy things. I love these. This is just a soft makeup sponge. It's a little tiny one. It's a little pack I got, and you have, different areas. You can have a pointed area. You can have a flat area. It's pretty cool. Now, what you do is you tap and get it so that you've loaded it, but not so that it's drippy drip too wet. You want it to sort of be dry-ish. Now you got to hold your stencil, or you could tape it, but I'm going to hold it and with one hand. You just don't want to move it around. And then dab off the extra. See what I'm doing? I'm just dabbing off that extra. And I'm going to start from the center. And I'm just going to just move it to sort of bounce it up and down very lightly. Now this would, I think would be really cool if I mixed it with some color. Oh, what the heck. Just take what's there. Oh, the green and black may not be a good. Oh, there's that olive green I don't want. Uh-oh. Oh, yeek. Okay. Yep, move on to that. Nope, sorry. That one's not gonna work. I'm just gonna do black. Just leave it alone. Sometimes it's best to leave things alone. My original plan was just to do black. So I'm just gonna go around and pounce this thing. And I'm kind of just going in a circular motion from the center going out. And what I'll get is a really nice, beautiful, you'll see what I mean. It doesn't take long to decorate this kind of origami paper. You could do this on the collage papers too. I'll do this on this since the stencil is already here, and I've got other stencils too. But anyway, go to the edge, and these are 6-inch, many stencils are 6-inch square. Like most companies have 6-inch square stencils, and origami paper, the standard size is 6 inches or 5 7/8. So it's actually, these stencils are like they're made, it's almost like they're made for the origami paper. They're just perfect size for that. All right, so now I think I got enough. We'll see. I'm just going to keep tapping a little bit here and there, because once you move it, it's really hard to reposition. And this was a gel printed pure paper, just so you know where the beginnings of this one was. All right, so let's do the unveiling. Let's do the reveal. Oh yeah, that's pretty. So what I have now, I'm not finished with that one. I don't think it's nearly ready, but it's pretty, but it's not done. And the reason I'm saying is I think it needs some contrast. And this paint is nearly dry. Nearly dry. Yep, so I could probably work on it. And I'm gonna just take this because it's here, it's available, but you can do other things. But you can then, if it's dry enough, I can then like do like little dots like this. Since I figured dots are kind of nice, they're easy. You don't have, you don't have to, you can feel like you don't have to have drawing skills. You just have to dot. For me, making dots is very peaceful, very relaxing. I'm slowing down right now as I do them. There. Well, see what happens when you put those little dots in there, and then I'll just stick a little white dot right in the middle. And then you can continue. You can just do the whole thing. Either you can do dots, you don't have to do only dots, but whatever, like you can go big, like big ones in these areas. Kind of just, or even those, those dot, oh gosh, those dot making tools that have different diameter flat edges, those would be really fun to dot. Now I have them, but I don't have them here close by, so I'm not going to bring those out, but you could do that certainly. And what it would do is it would give you a little raised sort of textural surface, which I think would be incredible. So you can see where I can go. Well, I can just keep going. Another thing would be nice is maybe a line like that, kind of like this. And just, you can see, I could spend an hour on this thing, and then it won't look anything like it was at first. And I'm getting, first of all, there's benefits to this. Besides I'm making pretty origami paper, I'm also doing something from a well-being. I'm doing something that's calming. It slows me down. Of course, I'm talking, that's different. But this kind of activity, if you just take 10 minutes a day to do something like this, your nervous system will thank you. your health will be better. Everything will start to tune in a little better because I find when I get a little out of balance, which happens from time to time, all I have to do is just do some creating, and then I'm back centered again. So here, and this is just a simple act of just making these little dots using that stencil. And I also covered up some paper that I wasn't that fond of. I mean, so it's still there, um, some of the work that I did underneath is still there, and that's good, but it's not the only thing. It's kind of a process. So I'll set that one aside, but you can kind of see how you can go with that, right? I'll put that one over there. And then let me show you something I had to show you real quick before. So this is one I told you I didn't really like that much, even though I designed it. It just doesn't, I don't know, it looks good in some ways, but this one I'm just going to do something kind of completely different. Oh, wow, that was interesting. I just splattered it. Ooh, I like that. That was cool. Well, I'll just do what I was intending to do. I'm just going to kind of go and create this is again, I'm making just lines, and I'm going to do them pretty close. Now this paper is thinner, so it's going to wrinkle, but when it dries, it will flatten out. Now I'm just going to create, there we go, just some lines. Very, very simple horizontal lines crossing over. And the picture or the print is still underneath, but it's subdued. You can see how much, oh, too nice to fold. Yes, no, you know what's so satisfying about folding something that you've created like this, something like this, is that you really feel a personal connection with, and it's a whole process too. You've got you don't just pull a piece of paper out of a package. Now you've invested some time, you've done something, and then you've created something that is so unique, and then it's more precious. At least, I'd love to give away a crane that I've decorated like this more than just one that came straight out of the package. So that one I'll just set aside. I like that paper better already. I could do a checkered thing, but I think that's just all it needs. And that's great for journaling and stuff too. So let me show you another little thing I did earlier today. I kind of played with some paper. This is again with a stencil. So I found some paper I didn't really think was that exciting. And here's one that's pretty, but it just needs something. I think it just needs a little extra. So I like this stencil. It's 6 inches, and just by itself, it's a gorgeous stencil. And maybe if I just did that by itself, I could make a really interesting pattern and be done with it, or I could do something crazy. But let's see. I'm going to grab, I like the black, but I think I need to do something a little bit off of what I planned. So I'm going to grab, well, I have the white and the black. That's my choice. So I'm going to do the white. I've got a little of the white here. You can try other colors. And also note too, colors, like you'll have opaque colors and you have transparent colors. And if you're with your transparent colors, you can do more layering, and opaque totally covers it up. So this is as a kind of a note to make to yourself. Now this one, I'm going to really see, I'm going to make this a really dry, super dry tap, tap, tap. Yep, that's pretty. And I'm just going to tap into this, and I don't want it too goopy because then it will seep under these little fine stencil, I don't know what you call them, cutouts. There's really thin lines here. And it has some wide openings, so you just kind of just tap very lightly. And if you don't like paint in drawing on your stencils, I have a little bath that I usually, it's just a kitty litter box that I put about an inch or so of water, and then I just stick them after I finish with the stencil. I stick that in there, and it gives me, I could have taped this down, by the way. It's just going up and down. There we go. Trying to have more than, oh, gee. All right, so you can see how these little sponges are fantastic. The makeup wedges are nice too, but these have more body to them. So they just don't, the paint doesn't get on your hands as much. They do, but acrylic paint, I don't mind if I get it on my hands. It's the dye-based things like alcohol inks, or distress inks or any of those, oh, you might as well just plan on wearing that for a while. At least for me, I have not found anything that gets that stuff off easily. So, but with acrylics, no problem. It just comes off. Well, let's see what the white looks like. And maybe a couple of layers, because this titanium white is not as opaque as I thought it would be. It's a different brand. It's an off brand I've never bought before. But if I were using Golden or Liquitex or another brand, I definitely would be getting more opacity. But I like that. I like that. It's very sweet, very subtle. It's not, it changed it. I mean, it's just a very super easy. Oh boy, let me get something to wipe my hands. So that is on the stencil. So that's kind of one way you could use them, or you can just mix them up and layer them, like kind of like the one I did with this. Just kind of throw it on there and don't worry about, you don't have to be like line them up perfectly or anything. Okay, so now we're going to go on to, I think I've stenciled, if I've covered stenciling, I hope I have. I hope I've covered that enough. But I'm just gonna go through. Here we go. Here's oh, this is interesting. Look what I just pulled. This here is the original piece of paper from one of the origami pack. It's from, which one is that from? It's from this one, 4540. So this is the actual original. That's not a piece of origami. I mean, that's a origami, but that's painted. I feel it. I feel the texture. So I just realized I had that, and I'm going to save that because that's a treasure. So that basically, this is the of that set. There are three of them I decorated because, you know, they were okay, but three of the papers were gorgeous, and three of them were kind of iffy. But there it is. I love that. I think it came out beautifully. I could do something with it later, but I think it looks good just by itself. And let's get into the jelly printing, because you know jelly printing. I mean, if you're a fan of jelly printing, yeah, the kitty litter box. So let me tell you, yeah, you mentioned the kitty litter. I mentioned the kitty litter box, and I'll show you what I do. And I haven't put any of my stencils in there yet, which I should. But what I do is I have this had this for years. It's it's for probably a tiny kitten because it's way too small. And this is just plain water, but you could put anything. You can put soapy water, you can do whatever any kind of way that you want to. This one's just black, but I'm going to go ahead and stick these in here. And also I can stick my little foam. Nope, I already did that. I put the foam, the little foam things in my paint water there, but anything you want to if you don't want the paint to cake on, you can stick them in like this. And then what you do is if you do soapy water, or even better yet, Murphy's oil soap is really awesome. And then you just leave them in there, and if the paint isn't dry, it just comes right off. If it's dry, it's going to take a little time to get off, but the paint eventually will, excuse me, dissolve. On its own. Okay, so now I'm going to get my gel plate out. It's been a while. I haven't used my gel plate. And usually when you're gel printing, you're going to want some plain paper. Kind of set up your space. So you've got the plain paper here. I've got this is where I'm going to just hold my gel plate there. And I'm going to get some ugly pieces that I'm not really that fond of. Let's see. Some of them I really like, and then some are like not so good. So I'm going to pick oh, this one's also part of I think that's an original oh yeah, from the paper collection. We'll save that. Okay, here's one that needs it's a little sad. This one's okay, but let's find something that we can decorate over. Oh, there's one, olive green. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so now I've got a few to work with. And if you have just the plain paper as well, like your plain pure paper, of course. And the neutrals, I'm going to grab a couple of neutrals since I have those packages, or I actually have them somewhere in my mess here. I'm going to grab up there. Here we are. So the new papers that we are getting in July, this one needs a little help too. I'm going to grab some of the neutrals. I think that would be so pretty. Is maybe doing like some neutrals. There we go. And maybe a darker gray. Yeah, this gray is pretty. Okay, nice. I usually like bright clear colors, but I think why not try doing something with the sort of mid-toned neutrals. All right, so now I got my stack of papers and I'm gonna decorate. Now this one, I'm gonna keep that one. I don't mind it. All right, here we go. So usually what I do is I like to get my papers that I'm going to paint on or decorate or print on. I get them kind of, I'm gonna grab some green too. This green color that is in the green collection. It's pretty. And I'm gonna grab another sort of a brownish color and one more green. Here's an olive green I need to do something with. Okay. So now you've got some stuff with the new papers. And I'm going to start. So gel printing, just by, oh, the gel plate, hello. So I'm going to put this on this side and this is I got this set aside. And if you remember, Phoebe wrote something about flogging. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be flogging also. An old toothbrush. Yes, Cindy, that's a great idea. To clean soap stencil. Yep, perfect. So this is a flogging brush. My cat loves this brush. And it is made of horsetail hair, I believe. It's something I love. So it's fun as a cat toy, but it's also fantastic for creating textures. And I'm going to just show you how I do it on my gel plate. I'm going to show you how I do it. I love it. Okay. Let me just grab this little gel plate. This one I've had it for years. I love this one. It's a Jelly Arts jelly plate. Jelly Arts is the original company to market these gel plates, and I love them. I think they're fantastic. A couple of other companies now, maybe now several have gotten on the bandwagon because it's such a fun way to make prints, but I always stick to the originals because, yeah, not the Me Too's. Just kind of thought I'd shout out to Jelly Arts because they have it's such a beautiful product and so much fun. Okay, now I'm gonna kind of set myself up here because this is the last part I've got. Oh, I've got a 5 to 10 minutes. Well, I'm probably gonna go over just a little. Okay. Yeah, here we go. So you need something to do your paint, something to paint on, and then do your roll-offs. Now there's things you can do that are really fun. Like you can take the Niji artist crayons, you can take a clear one. Oops, that was noisy. And you can do some like fun little scribbling first. Okay, well, this is so much. Oops, that's on the green. And I just did a little scribbling. So see if you can see. You can't see it, but I'll show you what happens. Now I'm going to take, since I only have a few colors here, I don't have a lot of colors, but I'm going to, I'll just use that turquoise that I had. And I'm going to roll it in. Actually, I'm just going to roll it right on my plate because I don't need, there we go. And maybe a little, this is this darker, ooh, this color. Whoops, something just flew off my table. Sky is a color called Sky. These are two different blues. And now I'm going to roll it on, just take my roller and roll. And I didn't put a lot of paint on there. Now this one I could probably, since it's a large plate, I can do probably a couple of sheets, but I'm going to just do maybe 2 sheets. I'll do something interesting with. Okay. So I have this extra, but I'm going to just off roll it. There, and now I'm going to take that crayon wherever I don't see. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm going to do like let's say I'm going to do the whole thing right now. Just lay it on there, lay it on the plate, and then I'm going to take a piece of this. Why not? Because I can, and I'm going to do the flogging just to show you. So I'm going to kind of flog, which what I'm doing is I'm just smacking like with a dry brush. And that needs to go into the water after I'm done. Now I'm just going to lay that right here because I want you to see, you can use the whole plate. Why not, right? Just kind of use it and maybe I'll put a stripe down the middle here. And I mean, I might as well get a start on all these papers that I sort of laid out. And then I can always do more on top of each one. There we go. And with that, since I did that, now I can really burnish this down. And I actually have, I'm gonna put that in the bath, needs it. That definitely needs to be in there. And when you do that with the flogging brush, since it does have a wood handle, I don't try to leave the wood part in, just the brush part. So now I'm just gonna do this, just kind of let that paint attach itself to the paper. Oops. And I think I can just remove this right now. I've got a little piece, a little Mod Podge going on here. And this is like a collaging with paint, basically, because you're just doing bits and pieces of it. And you're just kind of seeing what that color looks like on the tones. I'm just going to set those kind of there. And then make sure that those are on. And I'm going to lift this up. And the texture, you can see that texture is there. It's really interesting. And you can see also the color underneath. Huh, interesting. I'll do something else with that. And this one is the one I had the squiggly lines on. Now you don't see, I lifted all the paint. The squiggly lines are barely there. That's interesting. But it did something. So I'm going to just kind of set that aside and I'm going to roll another color on. Now I'm going to roll a totally different color. This color, it's called Bodacious. And I'm going to put a little Bodacious on there and maybe some titanium white. Maybe she's got some heather. I'll just use that. Some light color. Not much. I don't want to overdo it. And then I'm going to put this. Ooh, that's gorgeous. Look how strong that color is. I love it. So very little paint is needed. Okay, and then I can do things like I'll roll that. And my underpaper, this paper, this paper I'm going to use here is going to look gorgeous with something. All right, so here we go. I'm excited. I'll be here all day. I'm just going to put this stencil down here, this one, and I'm going to put, oh, what do I have there? I don't want to wait too long. I've got this one here. That's kind of cool. And then I've got, oh, let's see, that one, and I'll put this organic one over here. Just going to lay them on like that. Now I'm going to just see what happens when I just lay this paper straight on. It may not work because I have to put it in all the grooves of it, but I'm going to just try. This is where experimentation is just so much fun. Okay, I'm going to take this one, and this is the one I painted on, and I'm just going to lay it right there. And now I'm going to do the same thing. Take my Baron, and I'm going to just kind of put this on like this. And what I'm going to do too is with my fingers, while I can, oops, I'm just going to kind of go into the grooves of that stencil because the stencil's on there, right? So I feel like that kind of debossing thing going on. Let's see if I can get anything on it. Yep, I did. Cool. So I got this little pattern, which is nice. And then let's see if I can get something on this side. So I'm basically collaging. Ooh, look at that. I love that. Just collaging over and making layers. Let's see rub that on. Yeah, nice. Got a nice little thing there. And let's see what we got here. I picked up that as well. So now I'm going to lift these off, put them in the bath. And now I've got this beautiful stuff going on here. And this is generally you would wait for it to dry. Because I don't have a lot of time to dry, we only have a few minutes of our time today. I'm just going to wing it here. Normally I would wait for that. That would be dry, bone dry. I'm just going to try. Oh, thanks, Darina. Yeah, I love my stencils. I've been collecting them. Mostly these are the Crafters Workshop, Artist Seller, and Stencil Girl. The Stencil Girl designs are bigger, but the Artist Seller and the Crafters Workshop have the most interesting stencils for origami paper. And that's kind of why I chose this today. This one's nice, but it needs a little something, right? So I'm going to take, what am I going to take here? I kind of like that. I'm just going to leave that for now. Oh, I see some hot pink too. Ooh, this one's called Stoked. I really like that. But I'm going to right now use I have to grab a little sort of a transparent white. If I can get some a transparent white from my mess here, or something. Here we go. Is this zinc white, I hope? Okay, zinc white. Yes, zinc white is translucent. It's almost invisible. I'm just going to put a little translucent zinc white on there. Not very much. I hope this will work, but we'll see. It may not, because it's not really dry underneath, but I'll give it a shot. Okay, so translucent white over that. And now I'm going to put, this pattern should pick up really nicely. I'm just going to do it on this half, maybe on this one. Right there, maybe like there. Okay. And then this one, I'm going to take the whole thing. I think that's what it needs over here. And then maybe on this one, I'll do it that way. Right there. And I don't want to waste, so I'm going to put this on this and maybe this one over here. All right, same thing. I've just laid a bunch of paper on top, and now this is where it usually takes time. So I'm going to let that sit for a minute, and I'm going to just see if there's anybody that has any questions. But you can see how in a session like this, you can create yourself some amazing origami papers. And you can also rescue papers that you don't like very much, and they become more interesting to you, and you get more ideas. And you can use this for your mixed media collages as well. Okay, let's see if I can, it may pick up, it did barely because it's just not, it needs to dry. So if I let this sit for, 20 minutes, I can put this back down actually. But it sure covered up that icky olive, didn't it? So there's the olive green and there's that gorgeous turquoise color. I'm gonna put some right here and I'm just gonna let that sit. And I'm hoping that, let's see if I can pick that one up. Just a little bit. Oh yeah, that one picked up. See how it picked up that pattern underneath? That's really gorgeous. So let's see if we can get something nice out of this. You can feel the paper if it pulls. Yep, that one's gonna do it. Nope, still has time to marinate there. Let's see if this one did it. Yep, that kid lifted up pretty well. I got some color off of that. I got this nice thing, and I just keep going and get myself these wonderful layered collaged origami papers. That one's picking up nice. I'll show you. So you just picked up that beautiful, that lavender color, and let's see what this one looks like. And then, all right, it lifted it. It did change it up quite a bit. You remember what color? You remember what that was? It was one of these, and it looks completely different. So, but it still has that the bit of what's underneath, which really I think makes it really interesting. It still has a hint of the collage paper underneath. And here I would probably just maybe sit this down and let it kind of maybe pick up something over here because that didn't have any on it, any paint. And you know what happens when you do this, when you gel print on your origami papers, you just have created there we go. You created an acrylic sealer, like a layer that gives it a little bit more strength and water resistance. That's what I'm coming up with. So I think it's a little after 3 already. I can't believe how quickly our time went. Oh, I did want to show you this one, but that one is really cool for doing this, but I won't have time, unfortunately. So I hope that this inspired you. Anyone else? Let's see, I'm gonna just look at this, if there's anything I can answer. I'm gonna kind of look at the comments and see. Oh, that's it. So I think I don't think I had new comments. So I hope you enjoyed this today. Oops, did it freeze? Oh, it might have. I hope I didn't accidentally leave the meeting. So I'm gonna say, oh, there we are. We're still here. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my camera on me for a second, just so I can read and not have to. There we are. I'm gonna see. There I am. So, and I'm just gonna try to read some of the comments if we have any. Yes, kitty litter box. I'm just reading some things. Yes, collage is like a meditation. And for me, Cindy, collage is kind of more energetic for me, but boy, origami is my meditation because it's just so linear, you have to fold it perfectly to get something that you really love, unless you want a boulder fold, if you know what that is. But boulder folding, when you get frustrated, you just wrinkle it up into a ball. But I really want to thank everybody for coming today. I really am happy that you're here. I miss Phoebe because she's kind of makes it more of a party. And she's also, and hi Denise, you just got here. Oh, half an hour ago. That's how fast I am at reading these. But I'm just checking, making sure I get everybody's. Oh, does a paint crack? Okay, that's a good question, Mia. Does the paint crack when you fold? No, it does not, because acrylic paints are flexible. They are made kind of with a plastic, right? So it's not going to crack. It may stick if you have certain kinds of paper that there's some kind of papers that will stick. So what I do, and I'm just going to grab my little handy dandy, open my drawer here. I use microglaze if I don't want it to stick, or you can use shoe polish. But that's the only thing I would say you may have a stickiness happen is from some acrylic paints will be sticky. But no, it will actually be it'll be much better for you once you put that acrylic paint, you've sealed the paper, you've made it more strong, and it won't crack. So in fact, it doesn't even crack. Let's say paper that tends to crack, it won't crack. You'll seal it better. So thank you. So I'm just gonna read everybody's. Thank you so much and I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. And I appreciate everyone for coming and hanging in there while I've been doing this myself. So everybody have a happy weekend, and we will see you next time. And we will do some folding next time. We'll make the books, and we'll probably do another one. Please put in the comments 2 or like folds you would like to do. We'll do the book, so that's number 1, and 2 other ones. As long as they're not really complex, we'll pick one of those. So happy weekend and be safe, everyone, and we will see you next time. Okay, take care. Bye.